Welcome, Tiina. It's my fourth podcast recording today, so thank you so much for coming online today.
Thanks for having me and congratulations.
Thank you. So to introduce to my listeners to who you are. So Tiina and I met her in 2013, and this is before she actually opened up her business called Saltuary. So she has two spas, one in Wentworth and the other one is in Five Dock. And the first one was opened in 2013. Mm-hmm. And I was waiting on her website. I was like, coming soon, when are you going to open? So I was just so excited for Saltuary to be open in 2013. And so I've known Tiina for 7 years. Tiina?
I know how time goes, huh?
Right, yes. And so I'm a customer of Saltuary, and I love the brand. I love the spa. I love your team. I love you and your family and everyone who created.
Yeah, no, thank you, and ditto, ditto.
Yeah, it's what you've created is amazing, and we will explore that a little bit more and tell the listeners what you've created. So that's how I've known Tiina, and she's helped me throughout the years when we have conversations and about whether it's mindfulness or whether it's self-compassion, retreats, yoga. We just have these little chats about these things.
We've always had great little chats.
Yes. Yeah. So in terms of her background, I'm just going to go through her bio. Tiina Hogg is she is a co-owner and naturopath, herbalist, nutritionist. She's also a mother, a wife of 2 kids. Her kids are 10 and 12, son and daughter. She graduated in 2005 with a Bachelor of Human Health Science and
Naturopathy.
Thank you.
It's a hard word to say.
Yes, and then she went straight overseas to Thailand at a wellness spa for the rich and famous, and that was about 7 months. But that's a really interesting experience, which let's hope we can explore that in a moment. How it actually also gave her the ideas to create her business Saltuary. So in 2013 she opened up Saltuary, and last year opened up the second spa in Wentworth, and I've been to both spas and I've met all the staff that's worked there all over the years.
Over the years, yeah.
Yes. So we'll start with the first question is, can you tell us about your career or business journey just from your perspective?
Yeah, well, look, I guess I was a bit of a jack of all trades and not really master of any. I had worked anywhere and everywhere, and I just sort of did jobs here and there. As long as I enjoyed it, I stayed. If I didn't enjoy it, I left pretty quick. So I had quite a variety of things that I guess I had experienced, but it got to a point where I've always been a hard worker, but I just knew I had kind of next level energy to give to something, and I didn't know what. So I actually cried myself to sleep one night, feeling so frustrated about what it was that I was going to do. And I woke myself up the next morning just saying, I'm going to be a naturopath at about 5:30 in the morning. And I thought, who said that? And I looked around and I just went, I'm the only one in the room. What's going on, kind of thing. I had just moved out with a couple of friends, and so we hadn't even unpacked our boxes, and it was like something just overcame me. And I knew in the box over there, there was a prospectus for the college, and I don't even remember getting it. So who knows? I just went over there and I picked it up and I opened it up, and that's kind of how it happened, and what led me to kind of studying naturopathy. I wasn't I was in a fair bit of debt at that time, so the open day for this place was in about a week, and my flatmate came with me, and she could see the fire in my eyes, and kind of, she could sense it, and she immediately actually paid my deposit to do the course. And I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay you back. She's like, I know you'll pay me back. I can see it, And so I did that course, loved it, loved every single minute of it. It was kind of about life to me, so many facets of life and just everything coming together. And yeah, and then as you said, I went straight over to Thailand when I graduated. Worked at a fancy pants spa where everything had to be done yesterday, and if the bookings were full, I had to find another slot. So that was a really good stomping ground. And then I came back. Yeah, I kind of consulted in my own. I hired a clinic space for a while. I worked in health food shops and yoga centers, that kind of thing. And after getting together with my husband, yeah, we just really wanted a business. Like, he had always wanted a business. He sort of loves the business aspect of things. And, we thought it would be in the natural health kind of industry. And yeah, at first we just thought salt rooms. We were going to be called Himalayan Salt Rooms. And then we thought, hang on, that's a little bit restrictive. So, we looked at buying a health food shop as well for a while there. But yeah, we just started Saltuary, and then we thought, okay, we'll have the salt rooms, and then, we'll put a bit of naturopathy on the side. Maybe we'll do massage. And then it just grew and grew and grew into what it is today. So that's kind of,
Thank you.
Here I am.
That's amazing how your friend has saw the fire in your eyes and that you borrow that money. That's a great story.
It actually terrified me. I was in a lot of debt at that time, and I remember the deposit, I think, was $1,500, and I was just like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, the course was well over 50,000 by the time I finished, but I think I worked 5 jobs in my last 2 to 3 semesters, and I had some payment plans along the way. I think when there's something that, I don't know, there's something that pushes you, I don't know, you just got to go with it or something.
Yes. Yeah, particularly when you feel that fire. Your friends saw that fire in you as well, and it's just amazing when you can feel that fire and someone else sees it in you, and she's willing to let you borrow the money. That's
right. Yeah. Well, she wouldn't have it any other way. She actually just paid the deposit then and there.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. She's like, oh, I've just paid it.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yes. No, that's unreal. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the 7 months in Thailand and the ideas that came to your mind. How did that?
Look, I don't know that there were ideas that came to my mind then. I left exhausted, as most people do. Most people sort of, I remember there was one girl who had her 1-year anniversary when we were there, and everyone was like, wow. And it was when I was fairly new, I was thinking, wow, that doesn't seem like a very long time. And most people hit 6, 7, 8 months and just pure exhaustion and ended up leaving, but it was at the time, I mean, it was good that I was there by myself. It was 6 days a week, 14-hour days. Like, my one day off, I would just be exhausted. So, 2-hour massage on the beach, which helped. And it wasn't really until sort of years later that, in hindsight, you sort of look back and you think, that actually had a really deep impact on me. At the time, I was just sort of running every day, getting up, going to work, doing the thing. And, it just sort of, I don't know, I guess all of your life experiences over time do, they do change you. They make you who you are. So, yeah.
So connecting the dots.
That's right, yeah.
In your life. And did they have, if that's far, I have salt rooms and flotation?
No, they had float rooms. They had a beautiful big float room, which is, when we were looking at it and we sort of thought salt rooms, and we thought, well, I used to float when I was over there, and they were these like, salt float things. And so we started looking into that, and our float rooms come from England, so we ordered them from overseas, and they're, huge, spacious things, because a lot of floats are sort of a smaller cabins. But because I had gotten, I'd been introduced to floating in a 5-star resort. So of course it was this beautiful big thing. And I was like, I want big and beautiful as well.
Okay. So that's the flotation rooms. Some people know of it, some people don't. Can you just explain a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I had a sneaky one last night. It was good. I had to go up and do some work last night, and I thought, I'm just going to stay here for a quick float as well. So essentially floating, you are floating in a really big warm bath filled with hundreds of kilos of salt. It's been dubbed the deepest rest on earth, which is, you just think about that and you go, it's essentially you're there's hundreds of kilos of salt in the bath. It's body temperature. And so you get in and the water completely supports you. So essentially, like every single muscle fiber, every single part of your being can just switch off and just completely relax, which is great. And it's true time out. It's pure time out. So you and I at the moment are expending a lot of our basic energy just to deal with gravity and with stimuli. So when you get into a float, there's no gravity essentially because the salt completely holds you up. There's so much salt, there's nothing else can fit in the water. You get in and it pushes you out to the top. And there's no stimuli if you can turn all the lights off and things like that. So all of this energy that you normally send out actually goes back in to your body. And whether you need to use it to just relax from stress or if you've got an injury that your body's looking to heal, it just gives the body back, you know. So one of our clients who is a regular floater, she came in and she said, I just show up better for life after this. And that's kind of how it is. So really amazing for stress, but beautiful for just time out on your body, which is rare in this go, go, go day and age.
Yes, and that is why I was waiting for you to open up the flotation rooms, because I had a similar treatment many years back prior to 2013 at the Golden Door, and there was a treatment in a little pool where it's like 30 or 45, about 40 degrees, 35 to 40 degrees, and I was waiting for your spa to open to have that similar experience. So is that right? That I remember reading information about floats was about it's what 1 hour, one session's equivalent to 4 hours of sleep.
Pretty much, So they say it's like 4 to 6 hours, and that's because everything just switches off in your body. You don't, like I said, you don't have to be expending that energy, so it all goes back in, and it's great. I think in the almost 8 years that we've been open, I reckon there's been about 3 people that I can recall that didn't like it. And we've had thousands and thousands and thousands of people come and float. So
I think I need to book another session.
You do.
So in terms of the next question I have for you is like, what brings you joy in your business, Tiina?
A lot of things. I think the people that I meet, our staff, definitely, like our team, people like you that I meet through there. I've met some really dear friends through there. The people, not just the clients that kind of come in, but the people that we deal with, the people that own the pool shop that help us, the people that, supply us with some of our product. Just there's a lot of good people out there, and they bring me a lot of joy. I guess using all the medicines that we do as well. Like I love knowing that we can make such profound changes with, people with food or nutrients or herbal medicine. Like herbal medicine is just, it's beautiful. It's, it's of the earth. We've used it forever. It works with the body. It's so gentle, but so powerful. So all of those things bring me a lot of joy.
So your customers, people,
people, like everybody that kind of comes through those doors. Like we've got a bit of a philosophy that is quite simple for us, and we want everybody to leave richer than when they walked in. And whether that's just a cuddle that they've gotten from someone, a bit of information, a feeling. A lot of people come in and they're like, what do you do here? You know what I mean? So many people come in and they just have no idea, and it's a beautiful door to open for people, literally and metaphysically, I guess.
Interesting you say that. So to come in and walk out feeling richer. Yes, because I actually feel that way when I actually go into the spa and I walk out. It's like I feel a lot lighter. I do feel richer, and life is truly beautiful after you walk out of the spa.
It's an intangible thing, and I don't think you can actually it's not something you can definitely buy. You know what I mean? It's a feeling, and different people will feel richer for different things. Like I said, if we've got a free hugs kind of policy, that if people want to come in and if that's what they really need, then give them a hug if they're up for that. And that might be all that they're booked in for, but then they show up better in their life, right? Just for that act of kindness. So
do you actually have a free hug policy?
Oh, we don't have a free hug policy, but all the staff know that, whenever we interview, I'm like, look, if a hug is what it takes, then, if you're keen and they're keen, you go for it.
Yes.
So don't have it written down in black and white anywhere. So, it's just kind of meeting that person where they're at and what they need in order to kind of help them shift however they need to shift.
One of the other greatest things that you offer at the spa is you have a library of books.
And we do have a library of books.
And this is the book that I found at the $5 spa, and I read I think I read the first chapter at the spa, and then I said, that's it, I'm going to buy this. And it's one of the best books I've read, Tiina. I love this book. And right now, so it's called The Untethered Soul. The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself, by Michael Singer. And I'm also listening to his second book as well on Audible. So it's one of the greatest things you have is the little library of books.
My husband bought me that once upon a time, so I'm a bit of a book fanatic. So
So in terms of what would you say would be the most difficult challenge for you in creating your business?
I guess, look, every day, I think they say a lot of small businesses fail in the first 3 years, all of those statistics, but you have to work so hard in small business that I think if you didn't absolutely love what you did, body, mind, soul kind of stuff, you probably would just close it down and go away. So the challenges almost have to be met with that energy, that burning energy to want to do this thing, because the challenges there are so many of them and they are so big sometimes that they would lead you to crumble if you didn't have that, in a fire or whatever you want to call it. But I guess probably some of the biggest and hardest things were when we first set up. My husband and I had never had a business before. I'd been a sole trader, very, very different ball game, so we had to learn about hiring staff. We had to learn about, the regulations for fire authorities and, about council stuff and all this kind of stuff that, you generally don't really know about, but the amount of stuff that we've learned along the way has been huge. So I think there's challenges along the way the whole time. If something breaks, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do about this. But you have to just figure it out. You have to get that grit and figure it out.
So I'm just wondering, with the concept when you first started Saltuary, having the salt room and the flotation room as well, was it very different to what Sydney was offering at that point in time in 2013?
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, a lot of, people focus on, having a look at your competition and all of that. I don't think we did too much of that, because any time that you spend doing that kind of takes away from what you're trying to create as well.
Yes.
So salt rooms, there were a few. I think there was probably 4 or something in Australia when we first opened. So it was very, very new, and it took a long time to adopt. You were an early adopter, so adapter. Yeah, sorry. And they were really popular throughout Europe and sort of in the rest of the earth, I guess. There would have been float rooms for sure, but a lot of people, when they found us, they were like, wow, I can't believe floating's back. And it actually had been around the whole time, but it had always been really on the fringe. So people just thought it sort of disappeared. And, obviously massage and acupuncture and those sorts of things have been around forever. So
yes. I think it's amazing that you said that you didn't really focus too much on your competition. You were just focusing on what you wanted to offer.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things in business is that you need to just be really focused on what you want to offer. What is the service? What is the product you want to offer the market? And if you have that love and that vision for what it is you want to offer, you focus on that and not worry so much about the competition.
That's right.
It's the same thing when I'm coaching people on their careers. It's they don't think about the other candidates that apply for the job. You can't control the other candidates, but you can control how you present at an interview.
Mm-hmm.
So if the more you think about the competition, the less you're going to be able to focus on yourself and deliver what you can deliver. So
Absolutely.
I really love the fact that at that point in time, before opening up in 2013, you were focused on your service offerings versus looking at what the competitors are doing. So
that's right. And you need to consider so much as well, and every minute that you're focused on someone else kind of freaks you out a little bit as well. Like, oh, I need to do it how they do it. But everybody gets their inspiration from somewhere, and it's whether you can actually pinpoint and go, right, that's where I got mine or whatever. I think it's a collective immersion of things. But yeah, I think I read somewhere years and years and years ago, with my love of books, that every minute that you spend on focusing on your competition is a minute that you haven't focused on your own business and your own journey. And I really, when I see things, I'm like, and I kind of try to bring myself back.
Okay, so that was every minute you focus on your competition is
a minute that you're not spent focusing on yourself
on
or on your own business or something like that. Something along those lines.
That is great. That's grand.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that. It's so true.
It's so true.
So true.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really inspired me many years back, and in fact, I'll hold that thought for a moment. I want to ask you first. This question. So do you practice being compassionate to yourself or to others? And can you give a recent example?
Okay. I think I've always been quite a giver, possibly to my own detriment, but it's just something I think inherent. It's funny, my daughter, who's 10, has often given away her birthday money for the same reason. She's got this in her DNA or something. So I think I'm a pretty compassionate person most of the time. I think most people probably are, when we come down to the nitty-gritty. But I guess if there's something that I'm focusing as far as compassion at the moment, it's probably trying to be a bit more compassionate towards myself. You know what I mean? So it's not a sort of mind-blowing example, but yesterday I was really tired. I've been working quite physically hard on a couple of things, excuse me, with the business in the last sort of week, and yesterday I was just tired. So I had a super lazy day, and I think that's practicing compassion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think self-care, self-compassion is really important right now. We have that tendency to focus on other people, give your time, give your energy. A friend needs you to be there for them. A customer needs you to give them a hug and listen to their problems. And I have been one that I think I've shared a few things with you.
We love it.
So people like yourself, or people who are in jobs where you're constantly giving all the time, nurses, teachers, educators.
It's really important.
It's self-care, self-compassion, making the time for yourself right now is key. And I am going to go and make some time to book in a salt treatment or a flotation treatment at the spa, because it's been a long time since I've had a treatment.
And look, it's pretty decadent, but and this doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it can take weeks before I do anything. But yesterday I managed to get in a sauna and a float. Two separate times that I just popped up. I thought, so yeah, perfect example.
Yes, so having self-compassion.
Yeah.
There's a really good example where you practice being compassionate was towards myself. Many years ago, I think it was about 2015 from memory, 2015, 2016, I was having really bad asthma, and I was driving. It was the day before I was driving to Newcastle, and I came into the spa at 5 o'clock for a salt treatment. So I had a good session, the one session, and then you saw how much my breathing was really bad. And you said, Leonie,
I said, get back in there.
Just stay there for another session. So I had a free session from you, and honestly, I'll never forget that. And that's compassion. And since then, I've just been, I would say, a loyal customer.
Oh. I think you seemed pretty loyal before then anyway, but that's not why I gave it. You come out and you see someone struggling, and I think if you've got the capacity to help, it's really important to offer that in this life.
Yes, but that's those small little things that in customer service that you just give that extra service, and then a customer will stay with you for a long time. And I mean, think about all the, the restaurants that we go to. How often do they actually give you something extra? So it's that extra service that you provided that brings, you can increase your customer satisfaction, and then customers will come back for repeat business. But certainly, I think when we are operating with compassion, to practice compassion, I think it makes all the difference in our personal and professional life.
Well, makes the world go around, as they say.
Yes. So we're nearly there. We're nearly there in this conversation, but I'm really interested to hear what is a book that you'd like to give away as a gift, and why?
So there's a lot of books I love, as you'd know by our library, but there's one called Earth is Hiring by Peter Kelly, P-E-T-A, so female. And it's just a beautiful book. It's in short little snippets, so you can kind of come and go from it. It's very soulful. It's very positive. It's very about just being good to you so that you can be good to the rest of the world. And I guess, I mean, I've given it away once to someone who I met through Saltuary, who is also a business owner with children. And whilst I don't see this person very much, I just feel better knowing they're on this planet at the same time as me, because I understand exactly what I'm kind of going through. So she's someone that I gave it to, but it's just, I think if there were a lot more people who thought like Peter Kelly on this world, we'd be closer to world peace, probably.
Amazing.
It's a soulful book.
Yes. What was the title again?
I've actually got it right here.
Oh, great. Earth is Hiring. Love it. Thank you.
She's got another book at the moment, but I've made a commitment to try to get through some of the books that I already own before buying another one.
Yeah. So Earth is Hiring.
Earth is Hiring. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. And what's one thing that you do every day that makes you happier and more productive?
There's probably not one particular thing I do every day. I mean, it depends on the weather. It's sort of rainy and cloudy here today, but if it's sunny, I absolutely go and lay on the grass. My cats are never too far away from me, which is nice, and just stare up at the sky. That's one thing that definitely makes me happy. I was meditating morning and night there for a little while. It's become a little bit haphazard. I've been trying to kind of get back into the process, so that's something. But I guess I just seek little bits of joy throughout every day, whether it's the exact same thing or something different, lots of little things. Read, go to bed early, light a candle, hug my cats, hug my children, hug my husband, hug clients.
So for you, it's seeking joy in moments of your day and actually capturing those moments.
Yeah.
Right? It's very simple, but sometimes we go through our day and we're so fast that we don't stop and look at that moment and see the joy in that moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Feel the joy in that moment.
Yeah.
And if we and that's what I see. What a practice I would refer to as mindfulness. That you are being mindful when you are hugging someone, when you are having a cup of tea, when you are you just being in the sun, and when you capture those moments of joy throughout your day becomes a really, really abundant and I have to say the word joyful.
No, it's true. It's totally true. And it's the simple things. And sometimes, I'm busy. I've got 2 businesses and lots of staff and 2 children and a life, so I can't just go away for 3 weeks and be self-absorbed about stuff. So if I can do little bits and pieces throughout the day, it's collectively, it is like going away for 3 weeks or something, isn't it?
Yes. So just those simple practices on a daily basis keeps you energized, keeps you focused, and then obviously managing everything that you have on your plate. Well, Tiina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Leonie.
Shared many insights around, compassion and your love for what you do, and the simple things that we can do every single day to make us happier.
Well, thank you, and best of luck to you as well. I know we'll be chatting.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to book in a session soon, and also some of you are also my clients who receive a newsletter from me every 1 or 2 months. Tiina has offered competitions from time to time. I've been creating this newsletter that actually says spot the spelling error in my newsletter, and if you can spot the error, you can win. You're in to win a treatment at the Saltuary. So if you are a client of mine and you are a part of my newsletter, look, in the next 1 or 2 months, I'll be running the next competition. Stay tuned, and I look forward to our next podcast, where I will be recording another inspirational person to come on the show to share their story. But today, thank you so much, Tiina, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.